Hello everyone, welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin, and today we're going to be reading into the energy, insights, and guidance that we have for your week ahead. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so as I mentioned, we're going to be going into your week ahead to see what's going on. I hope you guys have had a lovely week and a lovely month so far. This is a timeless reading, so if you're finding this a little bit farther into the future or even years ahead, this is still a video that found you in the moment that you needed it. So we have 3 different piles here, and I'll mention each of the different items and we'll go through it all together. So take your time now to go ahead and look at the piles while I talk about a few things real quick, because I want to mention just how much support I've been getting. I just hit 50 subscribers. Woohoo! I know, not a huge accomplishment, but for me, that is huge, and I appreciate the community that is growing on here. If you'd like to join this community and you're interested in week ahead readings, interested in other types of readings, as well as magical creative content, then feel free to join in and subscribe by hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified of each of my uploads. So yeah, let's go ahead and look at each of these piles. Alright, so with each of the piles here, we have 3 different ones to choose from for you guys for your week ahead, and I'll go ahead and talk about pile 1 here. We're going for sort of a brass theme, as you can tell, so this one is sort of a brass hinge, so if you feel like this is resonating with you, then this might be the pile for you. Here for group 2, we have this sun hat with little flowers on the top. If you feel like this is resonating with you, then this might be the pile for you as well. And lastly, here for group 3, we have a project I did for a jewelry class. And it's 3 different little bunnies with them kind of hopping around in a circle. It's a pendant. And so if this is resonating with you, then this might be the pile for you. So with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and let us all take a deep breath together so we can make a better decision on which pile is for each of you. So let's take a deep breath together. And if you already know which pile, feel free to hit the timestamps below or within the video, and you can go ahead and go to your pile. If not, feel free to kind of hover your fingers over what's it called, a screen. Hold your fingers over a screen and see what is resonating for you. If you're getting little tingles or a buzz, or you just feel aesthetically like one of these is resonating more with you, then feel free to go off of that. You can also choose more than one pile. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no rules to this. You can watch all 3 if you want. There might be a message for you for all of 3 of them if they're resonating. So with all of that said, let's go ahead and get started with pile 1. Hello group 1. If you've decided to choose this hinge, then this is the pile for you. I'll set that down right there for you guys. So we're going to be looking into your week ahead, as I've mentioned, and we're going to be using the watercolor affirmations here, as well as the charms and the everyday tarot, the secret garden oracle, and the language of flowers oracle. So let's go ahead and get started for your week ahead. I hope you guys had a wonderful week last week and that the month has been treating you well despite any challenges that you might have been facing. So let's go ahead and see what you have going on for your week ahead, group 1. So group 1's week ahead. We're looking for group 1's week ahead. What does group 1 have going on for the week ahead for them? Let's see, the week ahead for group 1. Okay, so this one was calling out to me. So we have here the 9 of Pentacles. She is a lovely card to get. It's basically about harvesting, and it's already really good stuff. So let's see what else you have going on. Group 1. Almost said group 2 there. Group 1. So we have the 7 of Wands for you guys. So there might be something in which you feel like you're needing to defend this week. Let's see what else we have going on. Group 1. Group 1. We're looking for the energy of Group 1's week ahead. The week ahead for Group 1. Okay, we got 2 more here. So let's see what we have. Oh, we had 3 actually. So I'm just going to take the top card because that tends to be how I read the cards that way with this specific deck. So we have the Ace of Wands. So you guys are definitely working towards harvesting something, and there just might be people who are maybe not backing you up or on your side this week. But I see that you're going to be able to manage it quite well. So let's see what else there is for you, Group 1. Group 1. The week ahead for Group 1. What do we have going on for Group 1's week ahead? Okay. Here we have surprises. Ooh, interesting. Surprises. Venture down the rabbit hole. So there might be a surprise, I'm not seeing necessarily celebrations here, so I'm seeing maybe surprise message, maybe someone pops into town that you haven't seen in a while, maybe you might even surprise yourself on how good you are defending your, what you're harvesting here, but I'll talk more on it in a minute. I feel like I need to talk on it before I've even finished, so let's see what else you have going on besides surprises. So the week ahead for Group 1, the week ahead for Group 1. 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 Okay. We have here Azalea, Temperance, Find Balance, and be centered. That's always important. Maybe if there are surprises too, surprises can kind of throw us off balance. So it could be, sometimes we have surprises that are really welcoming, but we also have surprises that you might have actually been not ready for. So it's time to balance yourself back out after a surprise this week. So let's see what else there is going on for Group 1. Group 1, we're looking for Group 1's week ahead, the energy of Group 1's week ahead. So you got mindset is key, right? And there's a key there. So your mindset is key. So again, maybe there's just by knowing that there might be a surprise this week, just by watching this, your mindset might have already changed. You might have already realized, you might even take away this defense. That's what's great about reading into certain things, because then you're more prepared. You have a more prepared mind for what might be coming in. Also, like I was mentioning with that surprises card, I feel like it could be that someone is surprising you. With the 7 of Wands, you might feel maybe defensive about the surprise. So say if it is your birthday this week, or if there's some celebration that is happening, or you have sort of an inkling, maybe there might be a surprise party, or someone might be surprising you with a gift, or surprising you by coming into town, something like that, where they're surprising you on some level. So just keeping that good mindset, staying balanced, staying, you can still stand your ground without being make sure that if the surprise isn't welcome, then, feel free to stand your ground. But if the surprise just sort of threw you off guard, be sure to just, use this temperance energy, balance and center yourself, and come back down from the surprise. Make sure that you aren't lashing out because you're surprised or scared, or, it might be upsetting or something like that. It could be triggering. So just be sure that you kind of ground yourself back down this week, ground yourself back down and keep that energy of calm even through the surprise. But on topic with the surprises, I also think that you might be surprising yourself this week. Surprising yourself with how much ambition and curiosity, maybe even artistic inspiration you have this week, because you have the Ace of Wands, which means you are on the adventure, you're feeling really inspired, and this energy is just gonna rush into you this week. You're gonna be kind of surprised by it. It might not be something that you were expecting, but maybe it's something that you've been working on for quite a while, but you haven't taken the time to or you haven't felt inspired enough to go after it. But I think you might be going after it. You're wanting to and I don't feel like it's a huge project necessarily, but like say, just like out of, like this is just an example. Say that you've been really wanting to, like, I don't know, carve a sculpture or something. It's something that's like completely just for you. This isn't for like a business, this isn't for something else, and it doesn't have to be a sculpture, it can be anything for you guys, but that you feel inspired to just randomly take up something, some new hobby, some new artistic endeavor, something like that. And by the end of the week, you will have results from that. I feel that you're going to be already harvesting the goods from it. You're already going to be feeling a lot better from just even starting this project. So you might even surprise yourself on how far you get, how much you get accomplished with a good mindset, with putting your mind to work and just seeing what comes out of it. Because sometimes we get inspiration, but we don't put action to it. And I think you're going to surprise yourself by not only being inspired, like some of us just scroll Pinterest and that feels like, yes, you have the inspiration to maybe want to do these things, but we pin it up, we come to it later, and we don't actually start. And I see you guys actually starting on a project this week, maybe starting on some sort of creative, inspired endeavor for whatever that is. It doesn't have to be artistic necessarily, but you're going to have the mindset to just forge yourself forward. And maybe some people think that it's frivolous. Maybe they're like, that's, a waste of your time, but you're gonna just go ahead and do it anyway because, you can do you, just do you. Just let yourself be inspired. There's nothing wrong with being playful and just playing around with this energy. Venture down that rabbit hole. And I see like a playful energy with this Ace of Wands. Like I don't feel like it's like a career based or something like that. I feel like this is entirely for you. Like you're just jumping in, just like this bunny would. They're just jumping in. You might feel surprised by how much inspiration you have, but by the end of the week, you're gonna feel like you can talk about it and be like, hey, so this is a thing that I made, or like I always wanted to do this hobby and now I'm actually putting action into this thing that you've always wanted to do. That's just what I'm feeling. Like there's just something that you've been bubbling up and really inspired to do, and you're putting it to action. And I even see that more because we have the Ace of Wands here and you've lit it, right? You've lit that Ace of Wands. You're showcasing it to the world. Like this is something I want to do, and you're not going to have anyone tell you otherwise, because sometimes we have people in our lives again that just feel like gaming is a big one. A lot of people are like gaming is a big waste of your time, but maybe there's this game that you've always wanted to play, like a video game or something, and you finally get to this week, or you finally get to take up that knitting class, or you finally get to, go to maybe working out. You feel it can be any type of inspiration, but if you're doing it entirely for yourself. I just see that for you guys this week, and that's super awesome. It's so important to have things that are just for yourself, and just keep that mindset of like, this is for me. I'm just gonna forge my own path, venture down that rabbit hole, and find balance. It can even be like a type of hobby that gives you that balancing energy. Like for me, knitting is like that because it's sort of routine. So when I'm knitting like a sock or something, I feel really calmed by the action of inspiration, if that makes sense. So you can be both inspired and like have that fiery, like kindled energy, but it doesn't have to be like a whole fire. It can be like little sparks, and that repetition, that like tedious repetition in a good way, moves you forward. And then by the end you're like, wow, I like knitted an entire sock. So whatever your sock is this week, you're going after it. All right, so with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and start to see what you have going on for your charms, because your week doesn't seem super, there are surprises. Like I was saying, you might get surprise messages, people coming in, but I also think you're just going to surprise yourself with the amount of inspiration that you have for a project or something that you want to forge forward with. So with all of that said, let's go ahead and do your charms group 1. So, group one, we're looking for group 1. What are they inspired by? What do they want to do with their week? Energy of the week ahead for group 1. Okay, so we had a few fall on the ground, so I'm going to drop them and see if they fall. Okay, so the bee still fell upside down, so we're not going to take that one. I guess this one doesn't really fall upside down, but now we know exactly where it is. So I'm just going to pick up the ones that fell the correct direction in terms of like which way they go. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys in here so you can see more of what is happening. There we go. And yeah, so here in the center, this key ring, right? So we have this key ring here in the center, and this is the type of key ring that represents breaking a cycle. And I was already feeling that, like, you guys have changed your mindset and you're like, okay, I'm going to take up that project. I'm going to take that Pilates class. I'm going to go and start crocheting or doing that crazy hobby, building a boat. I don't know, whatever your heart desires. But I see you breaking that cycle of being like, no, I'm not going to do that, or no, I'm not good enough to try that, or, you know, I'm not going to learn anything, or even, is it even worth my time? Like, it's not productive, or it doesn't feel like it's productive. Just go for it. Like, you're going to have that this week. You're going to have the mindset to break those habits, to open yourself up and be like, you know, this is what I actually really want to do this week, and it's going to balance your energy. So some people feel bad about taking that time for themselves, but you really need it this week. You need it to help well round yourself, and sort of, you know, find that balance and be centered. So you're just sort of, you know, just because you have work life and just because you have, you know, family life or whatever, you still need that time just for you. So it's sort of a self-love sort of thing, but also just an accomplishment thing. So beyond that, you also have more growth, and you have the tide, like the tie charm. So I think of this as like, you know, you get these like with your bread, and I think you're just tying yourself down to growing something new this week. So outside of just like the inspiration, you might just be harvesting in general. So it can be that you're harvesting your goals or other things you've been really working really hard towards. You might even be communicating or sending messages, or this could be the surprise that's coming in terms of like someone coming. You know, I just feel like there might be a surprise visit or surprise like message that's sent to you either in the mail, or like you got a surprise call from someone you never really talked to. I'm seeing that maybe happening for you this week. But I do see like you're growing something. There's growth here within that cycle, right? Because we've got two like circles going on here, but I think you're like tying yourself into it. You're letting yourself have it for the whole week. You know, you're really digging your toes into this inspirational energy. And I think that's awesome because, I mean, I'm just a creative myself, so I find it really cool when people get creative or get, you know, inspired. So I'm really excited for this energy to be coming in for you. Seriously, it's making me all like inspired myself. Your guys' like energy is woohoo. I'm really excited for you, honestly. How many times can I say excited in this reading? Too many, I'm sure. But with that, I just noticed as well, you have another ace, right? So we have the one on the die that started to roll, and we have the Ace of Wands, which is like the one. So again, you have the beginning. You're starting some sort of new cycle, and it's a really good cycle for yourself. It's one I think you're going to really enjoy. And now, because we got the chakra, the sacral chakra here, I'm going to go ahead and grab out my sacral chakra deck real quick and pull you a sacral chakra card, because I want to know maybe what is happening this week with your sacral chakra. So give me a moment. So I've just pulled out all of the sacral chakra cards from this Chakra Love deck, and I'm just going to see what you have going on in your energy for this sacral chakra. So group one, sacral chakra for the week ahead. What do they need to know about their sacral chakra for the week ahead? Okay. That's the one for you guys. Let's see what you have here. We have passion. Again, turn your fear of change into excitement for change. A change of mindset. Seriously, you guys, the sacral chakra is like your very creative, dominated chakra. It's like just below your belly button. So I definitely see that you guys are changing your mindset this week. We have Tiger's Eye here. So if you work with crystals, Tiger's Eye is a great one to have on you this week and like carry around or put in your pocket, use in like your magic of any sort like that. It would be really good and useful for you. So again, passion, turn your fear of change into excitement for change. sacral chakra, tiger's eye. So I see that for you exactly with this. You're just turning the wheel. You're changing your mindset. Seriously, that is all about breaking that cycle of like your fear for trying out something new, trying something that's just passion for you. I see you just being very passionate about it. You're very creative about it. You're very inspired by it, but you haven't been putting yourself out there enough to do it. And I see you just fighting back. You're fighting against that type of mindset, and you're saying, I'm going to do it this week. So kudos to you. I really would love to know what this is about. Like what is this inspiration? What is this passion that you want to take up? I'd be very curious to know in the comments down below, as well as for the rest of the reading. But let's keep looking at the other things. So with aces, what is interesting about aces is they always talk about like this energy doesn't last for long, right? So an ace of wands, or any ace really for that matter, it's not an energy that lasts for very long, right? It doesn't have a lot. It's kind of like when you take if you've ever tried to make a fire, you have the kindling, and if you can't catch that spark, it'll spark, yes, but if you don't turn that into action and keep adding and feeding that fire, it won't last very long. Oh my goodness. And you have the A again, another ace in a way. This one usually talks about breathing or not feeling like, or working with breath work or something like that, which could be useful with temperance here. But I really see with this one that you are breathing a fresh new start into this. You have the seed, which represents abundance, which everything is just lining up for you, seriously, because again, the aces are an energy that doesn't last very long. So it's a once in a blue moon sort of inspired idea. So it's really something that you have to be passionate about enough to put that breath work in, to breathe that fire into life, and then just go forth on this journey, because you also have the abundance charm of the pumpkin seed. So you are growing something new. It's kind of like a seed in general is sort of like an ace as well. So you've got a lot of ace energy here. That's going to move you towards a new direction, because this is the directional charm. You're trying to, you're taking a new path. You're taking the path maybe less traveled by. So I see that for you guys. I know I'm just keep talking about all this passion, but seriously, your mindset is changing. Something about either the way that maybe people have tried to put you down or told you you can't do this has maybe changed your mindset. Something about that, but you are definitely surprising yourself. You weren't really expecting to do this. I see that because you have the clarity charm. So I have a cloudy weather charm. I don't think it's not really right on top here, but I have a cloudy weather charm and then a more like clarity charm. So in this case, you have the clarity charm. So your mindset is clearing, and you're changing. You're kind of refining, because like pearls, they have to be refined and cleaned and like really sparkled and everything like that, and there's a lot of clarity and reflection in that. So maybe you've been reflecting on this for a while, and now that new once at a blue moon information and passion has come in to tie you to it and just like set forth on that goal. And I think whatever you do, you might even be surprised how much farther it'll take you this week. It might be a passion that turns into a hobby. Okay, so you might have a passion that turns into a hobby that might even turn into a lifestyle, or something that can continually bring you both inspiration and where's that card for? Where's it at? So temperance. So it might be bringing you balance. I know I feel like I'm speaking a million miles per hour, but I do see abundance. I see growth coming in for you guys. I see that you have this passion of life to move, and you're going to be surprised by the passion that you're going to trust yourself to create this change and turn fear into excitement, which is really what surprises are, right? You could be scared, but in this case, you're just surprised, and you're moving yourself ahead despite what other people might think about it, and you're moving yourself forward. You might even surprise people with how much passion you have for a project, and in doing so, it's going to give you that like self-love, temperance, balance, and centering that you need, but because you're going to be breaking these mindsets, or breaking these habits of what your mind has been telling you. So honestly, super, super cool energy this week, group 1. I'd be really interested to know what you have going on here for this ace, what this passion is all about, and where all this passion is from. And if it does harvest at the end of the week, please come in and let me know on this video in the comments down below. I'd love to know. If you enjoyed this reading, please be sure to give this video a like. And if you enjoy readings in general, feel free to check out more videos on my channel. I do magical videos as well as creative content and readings every single week. So if you are interested in that, feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell and join this whole little family and community here. We'd love to have you, and those who have been continually supporting me, thank you again for your support. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Hello group 2. If you've decided to choose this hat, this like sort of sun hat, then this is the pile for you. Go ahead and set that down for you guys right here. Today we're going to be using the charms, the watercolor oracle and affirmations here, as well as 2 different other oracle decks. We're going to be using the Language of Flowers deck and the Secret Garden deck, as well as the Everyday Tarot. So let's go ahead and get started. I hope you guys had a wonderful week last week and that the month has been treating you well. And that just, even though you might be going through hardships or anything else that's been happening, I hope that things start to turn back in your favor. But let's see what you have going on for your energy to just be ready for the week. So the week ahead, the energy for the week ahead for group 2. Group 2's energy for the week ahead. So I'm going to take just this top card because we had a whole lump of them. And we have the 8 of Wands. So that is very quick forward movement energy. I see you guys moving forward on something, but let's see what else there is to say about that. So group 2, we're looking for the energy of group 2's week ahead. What do we need to know about the energy for group 2? Wow, okay, so this 7 of Pentacles did want to come out because it was right underneath the 8 of Wands. So we have the 7 of Pentacles here. So you might want to be moving forward right now, but it isn't the time to in terms of some of the things you're wanting to harvest. So let's see what else there is. So group 2, I'm interested to know more on group 2's week ahead. The week ahead for group 2. Let's see what else is going on for group 2 here. What do you guys have going on here? Group 2's week ahead. The week ahead for group 2. Group 2's week ahead. The week ahead for group 2. Okay, so we have 2 that tried to pop out here. So we're going to take both of them. And we have the Knight of Wands, as well as, and he's a forward movement kind of guy too. And then we have the High Priestess. So I see you needing to use your intuition this week to figure out if it's time to move forward or to slow down, because there's sort of a competing energy between the 7 of Pentacles, the 8 of Wands, and the Knight of Wands. So let's see what else you have going on for like your oracles here. So what does group 2 need to know about their week ahead? The week ahead for group 2. The week ahead for group 2 here. This one was stabbing me. Okay, so we have enthusiasm. The best can be here. Believe it. Orange blossom. So like I was saying, you feel it. I feel like there's like this sort of battling energy throughout the week where you're like trying to move forward, but you also are trying to figure out where to rest on your ideas and goals, and you're trying to use your intuition on that. But you have enthusiasm, you want to do it, and you believe in yourself, but there's just sort of like maybe some obstacles in your way. So let's see what else there's going on for you. Group 2, we're looking for group 2, the energy of group 2's week ahead. Any energy insights on group 2's week ahead? The week ahead for group 2. The week ahead for group 2. Ooh, I love this card. Okay, so it says play, right? Play. among the grass and wild violets lie undisturbed little secrets to uncover. So there's a playful energy this week. I already kind of see like that inspired energy with 2 different wand cards here, but it's just sort of playing around with this enthusiasm. So there is a playful, maybe nostalgic, maybe if you have kids, there can be also like a playful energy coming in there. But let's see what else you have. Oh wait, we already did that one. Just kidding. Let's see what we have going on for your watercolor oracle here. So the watercolor oracle group 2. Wow. I was just looking at a card and it made me think of that. But anyway, we have each petal makes the flower. And you know what? I am going to pull you guys one more of these cards because we have more mentions of flower and I felt pulled to want to do another one of these cards. So I feel like you guys have another message here. And it flew right out too. So we have here optimism. Look up and look up brightly. What a great card to have in general, optimism for the week, because there might have been sort of a stubborn, pessimistic energy that comes with the 7 of Pentacles, or just like, I want to move forward and I want to be playful and I want to do things, but you have to use your intuition to know when you need to be moving forward and when you need to be taking time to let things grow on their own, because the 7 of Pentacles is all about letting things grow. And it's like, where the 9 of Pentacles you're harvesting, you're not ready to harvest. You're still putting in the work, but you have to, it's kind of like you don't want to drown a plant by watering it too much, and you don't want to keep putting it in the sun, and you don't want to keep moving it. And if there's too many variables, too many things that you're trying to do all at once, you're not going to know where it's going to go wrong. Like you're either overwatering the plant or underwatering the plant or giving it too much sun or fertilizing it too much, and you're working so fast, with this 8 of Wands and this Knight of Wands, of this enthusiasm to move forward, that you're not really listening to your intuition and like asking the plant, and by plant I mean whatever you're trying to grow here, either in a business sense, maybe financially, at your job or workplace. I feel like there's something there that you're inspired and enthusiastic about and you're optimistic about and you want to play with, but I think that it's like time to maybe slow it down and let it grow on its own. Each petal makes the flower, so every single thing that you're putting in is what's creating this flower, and sometimes you might be putting in a little bit too much. I'm worried that you might have burnout because of this, that you might be burning yourself out. Literally, like with this Knight of Wands, you might be giving yourself burnout because you're so enthusiastic about where you want to go that you're not really slowing down and letting the flowers grow on their own. Each petal makes the flower. So also in general, if you're into magic and stuff, or if you use tarot cards or anything like that, using your intuition this week, maybe listening to different signs that are coming in, you might have more reflection that's happening this week, reflecting on optimism, maybe reflecting on what you're growing. But there is a playful energy as well. So, I'm not saying like it's doom and gloom. You can't go out and do what you want to do. I'm not saying like don't play around or use this enthusiasm. Like continue that energy, but be sure you don't, burn out. Make sure that it stays substantial, that you can, it's kind of like turtle energy. The turtle, wins the race. So if you take that time to let things grow instead of like just jumping to it, I think that that's going to be better for you in the long run. You might be just going outside this week as well, because we have like sunny energy and like more sun sort of energy over here with things growing. So you might be going outside, playing a little bit. You might be literally playing with an idea, playing with something you want to work on, but it can be actual play. So if you might be playing board games this week, you might be playing video games, going out and playing at something. There might be like yard games that you're playing, something like that, like a bean toss or cornhole, or I don't know, whatever it is that you guys play. I do see that there's just like a playful energy, and maybe like an optimistic, like we have optimism here, but I do see like by playing, you're bringing back in that enthusiasm and optimistic energy while things grow. So maybe it's time to keep this forward movement, but instead of directing it all into one specific thing, like in job or work life, use that enthusiasm to maybe play with your kids or go outside or play, like if you don't have kids, like it can just be like playing games or seeing friends or doing something like that is, redirecting that energy towards something else to keep that balance. But I really do see sun energy with the orange, with the optimism, and with the Knight of Wands and Eight of Wands, and even a bit with the Seven of Pentacles. So playing outside is really important, or there might be some sort of inspiration that comes with going outside, or you might be finding that look up brightly. I do see like looking up into the sky could be really helpful for you. And if you guys are interested in using divination in any sort of way, a great way to do it, like a very, very simple way of doing that, is going outside and cloud gazing. What do you see in the clouds? What are they telling you? So that's something that you might even play around with this week. So with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and see what you have going on for your charms group 2, because it seems like you have something you're wanting to work towards, something that you're really excited about, but you just need to redirect that energy. Each petal makes the flower. Make sure you're working in every part of your life, every facet, and not just working all of your energy, sort of tunnel visioning it into one, that you're actually stifling yourself or burning yourself out there. So with that said, let's go ahead and start on your charms. Oh, I just realized you guys couldn't really see your little hat, so I'm going to move it up a little bit. But here are your charms. Let's see for you, group 2. So group 2's week ahead. The week ahead for group 2. The week ahead for group 2. Group 2's week ahead. Group 2's week ahead. Okay. So I had one fall on the ground, so I'm going to pick it up and drop it. Okay, so the F might be important to some of you. Maybe it's a initial, maybe it's something important to you having to do with this week. Maybe it has something to do with a title or a business or something like that. You'll probably have to figure out what that is, but I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys in here. Oops. Okay, so that seems good enough. We don't have anything down here that you're missing, but I'm just going to rearrange these here and use my intuition and what needs to be happening. This one was actually upside down. Same with that one. This one was upside down, but I feel like it makes sense. So let's go ahead and just talk about what's here in the center. So we have like a self-love charm. I think of this as self-growth because it kind of looks like a little leaf. If it'll zoom in here, or focus, I mean. It looks like it has like little leaf marks, right? So it looks like a leaf, like you're growing self-love for yourself or self-growth in some way, but it's all about comforts, creature comforts. So this is the creature comfort charm because it makes me think of like a fuzzy, warm, knitted blanket that like maybe your grandma made or something like that. It just seems really warm and loving and wonderful. So this is like your creature comforts, and you're kind of reacting possibly against those creature comforts because we have react here, which sometimes can represent reflection because you're reenacting almost in your mind something, but I really see that you're just taking the time off to, each petal makes the flower, and this almost can give me that leaf vibe, that petal vibe. So I feel like each petal makes the flower, right? So your comforts and what you're putting your enthusiasm into, what you're playing with, all of those have to work together. If they don't work together, that's when you get the burnout. That's when things don't really work in your favor anymore. Because you might just have too many eggs in your basket because this basket fell this way, like it's overwhelmed. You can't fit any more in your basket. You might be tunnel visioning yourself, overwhelming yourself with just too many things to do, or that stubborn energy that you want to do all of the things right now, but you need to let them rest, let them come back to them the next day. Something I sometimes have to say to myself before I sleep too, because I can feel that like enthusiasm before I go to bed. If anybody else gets like 2 a.m. inspiration, then woohoo, definitely a part of that club. But with that, I sometimes have to say to myself before I go to bed that tomorrow will sort itself out, right? So tomorrow's tasks will sort themselves out. Tomorrow's goals will sort themselves out, because I'll feel like I need to do them all right then and there. I'll have that like determination to just forge forward and do it all right now, that forward movement. But it's time to let things rest sometimes. They'll grow on their own when you're not even there. So other people might be helping a project grow, but it can just mean that like if it is something that's literally growing, like a plant, you can't stare at it all day. It's not going to grow. If you're watching a pot boil, or paint dry, like you can't, if you watch it all day, it's just going to drive you mad. So, just take that time to, instead of react, to slow down, to give yourself that self-love time that you need, and just be kind of playful, joyful, enjoy the creature comforts of life, the wildness of yourself, as well as just like, I don't know, it just seems kind of imaginative, comforting, eat that like last slice of cake, just enjoy those creature comforts. I think that you'll need those this week. And lastly, you also have the number 5 here. And the number 5, if it'll focus, it does say 5. 5 represents change for me, but it also can represent like fighting, because if you guys work with tarot, you have like the 5 of Wands, and with all this wand energy that you have going on here, I do see more of that 5 of Wands. So I'm going to go ahead and dig out the 5 of Wands so you guys can see what I'm talking about real quick. All right, so here's the 5 of Wands. And the 5 of Wands is where you're just sort of like, there's fighting, there's competition. So maybe you're feeling competitive this week as well, because that's what I'm kind of seeing here. Like we have this 5 of Wands coming into play. And I just see you like maybe feeling competitive, like what you're growing, like whatever you're trying to work at in your workplace, maybe you feel like other people are ahead of you, or you're comparing yourself to other people, and you're like, I'm enthusiastic, I want to do what everyone else can do. And you have to let the patience come in, let yourself get there in the time that it is ready for you. Okay, so I just see that being really important, and stay optimistic. So you might be feeling a little pessimistic about the fact that you're not getting as far as everyone else is. You might be comparing yourself or feeling like a little down about that, but just keep that playful energy. I think of play as well, like when you start comparing yourself to everyone else, you kind of lose some of that enthusiasm or that inspiration or that spark that is just yours, because you're comparing two different things, apples to oranges, right? So I just think that let yourself be the orange that you are, and don't compare yourself to the apple, because maybe the apple's already gotten higher up than you or have gone farther than you, but you're taking your own path. Don't overwhelm yourself or stifle your growth. Just let it grow on its own, play around with those ideas and see what comes forward for you over time. It's going to take time. So I just actually noticed that we had another charm here that didn't fall. Or it did fall, it just fell sort of off camera here. So I'm going to drop it and see if it falls. Okay, so it kind of fell off of it, so I'm not going to use that charm. So I didn't mean to be kind of like anticlimactic there, but I did want to give you guys another chance before I recapped here if there was another charm that needed to speak. But I'm going to go ahead and recap your week. It seems like there might be fast movement or fast enthusiasm in which you want to do with, but it's not like in your favor, right? Like they're kind of fighting here. They're not really working together. And that's where I feel like the 5 of Wands is coming in. Like you're enthusiastic. You want to move forward. You want to move yourself forward, but it's not the time. Or if it is the time, you have to just keep going, keep letting things grow and not stifle your growth with trying to do too much at once or reacting too quickly. Let yourself slow down. Enjoy that like cup of tea or whatever it is to chill yourself out, because each petal makes the flower. So each step that we make, even baby steps, are steps forward. Even smaller steps are steps forward. Even you don't have to do a large leap in order to do so. You don't have to do that. So every little step that you're making, every little decision that you're making can be moving you forward, but you don't have to do it all at once. So that's part of your week. Also, intuition, maybe cloud gazing, going outside, enjoying and playing in nature. I see that for you guys, enjoying that spiritual side of yourself. So connecting maybe with nature through the sun or even the moon too. It can be a nightly energy, but I just see sun energy with this orange blossom and the fiery energy of the wands. But I do see you guys being playful and just enjoying that sun, right? We also have here enthusiasm. So I do think that you're going to be bringing that enthusiasm. Just believe it. The best can be here. Believe it, right? So don't compare yourself. The best can be here. You just have to believe in yourself. Gives me a bit of that fool energy. Just believe in yourself that you're going to be able to do it, but you don't have to do the whole leap in order to do it all at once. Slow yourself down. Continue to stay optimistic. Don't compare yourself to everyone else's growth, because this is your journey, right? Not anyone else's. And they're probably comparing themselves to someone higher up than them, and it's a whole cycle. So just be yourself. Be your own enthusiastic person and forge forward when the time is right. Slow and steady wins the race. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end your guys' reading, but thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this reading, please give this video a like and let me know down below if this is resonating with you, if you feel like this makes sense, if you feel like maybe you've been competing against other people, or you've been sort of clashing with your own energy of what you want to get done and how far you've set yourself maybe apart from others. But I do really wish you guys the best for your week. If you enjoy these types of readings or other magical content that I create, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell to not miss out on each of these weekly videos that come out every Monday. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you. Bye. Hello, Group 3. If you decided to choose this pendant that I have here with the bunnies, the moons, and all sorts of stuff going on here, then this is the pile for you. I'm just going to set that down over here. Actually, I might set it over here because it's quite bright. So today we're going to be using the charms as always, as well as the watercolor oracle affirmations I have here. We're going to be using two different oracle decks, the Secret Garden oracle as well as the Language of Flowers oracle. And today we're going to be using the Everyday Tarot for your tarot deck. So I hope you guys had a wonderful week last week and that the month has been treating you well. Let's see what you have going on for your week ahead. Group 3. Oh my goodness. Okay, that Page of Wands just flew out alongside the King of Pentacles. So you already have some court cards going on here. So there might be different people that are sort of coming into your life. And this week you just might have a more socializing. So let's see what else you have going on here for your week ahead, Group 3. The week ahead for you, Group 3. So this card. We have the Page of Pentacles. So I seriously, maybe you guys are having a gathering. I almost feel like I need one more card to sort of figure out, because we've just got a lot of people here, which do give us like archetypes and such, but I feel like we need a little bit more to go off of. So Group 3, what else do we have going on for Group 3's week ahead in terms of the situation in which all of these people are involved? So Group 3's week ahead, Group 3's week ahead. So the week ahead for Group 3. Just as I thought. Just as I thought, you have the Three of Cups. So I feel like these might be the three different kinds of people that you are celebrating with. The type, it doesn't have to be male or female necessarily, but you do have like a Page of Wands, King of Pentacles, and Page of Pentacles. So one of these might be you, or just in general, there's that support coming in. So I see like maybe celebrations or just support or just social gatherings this week. Be safe. So yeah, let's see what else you have going on for your oracle decks. I love the Three of Pentacles, or the Three of Cups. It's one of my favorite cards. It's like the friendship, celebration, chill out and relax with friends and family and supportive people. It's a great card to get. It's just, there's not really anything super wrong with it. So let's see what else you have going on for your week ahead. Group 3's week ahead. The week ahead for Group 3. Oh my goodness, it flew right into the charms. It makes me wonder if there's a charm message involved in this. But we have cactus flower, endurance, hold on, you can do this. So it's like slow and steady energy, sort of more turtle-y energy. So this might have to do maybe with the last group. So if you we're kind of between Group 2 or 3, feel free to give a listen to both. But let's see what else you have going on here for your Secret Garden message. So group three, we're looking for group three's week ahead, the energy of group three's week ahead. And you have share. That's lovely. With all of these different people coming in, you have share. So it says, the busy bee should still make time for each flower. So it might not even be that you're gathering all together, but you might just be trying to juggle socializing with different types of people this week. A Page of Wands, a King of Pentacles, and an Ace of Pentacles kind of energy. So there might be like with that endurance, busy bees should still make time for each flower. So you might be busy and feel like maybe even you can't have these conversations this week, or you're trying to juggle that out. So just, maybe take time to plan and like time manage your socializing this week to figure out how to sort of fit them into your schedule, because it seems important to you. So let's see what you have going on here for your last one to pull. So we have group three's week ahead. We're looking for the week ahead for group 3 here. The week ahead for group 3. All right. Let's see what you have. You have you are manifesting. So a completely different message here. So you are manifesting. I feel like there's one more message. I know I'm pulling a lot for you guys, but I feel like there's something, like there was one that still wanted to come out. So group 3's week ahead. Group 3's week ahead here. The week ahead for group 3. Okay, so on top of that, you also have grow, evolve, and transform. So outside of socializing, I really see that you're manifesting, and manifestation just means that you're bringing something to life. You believe in it so wholeheartedly, your intentions are there, that you're being able to bring something into life, something that you've been wanting to grow, evolve, and transform, and something that maybe is going to take a bit of time, and maybe you're even sharing that with other people. I could see that too with the share. And what's interesting too, like, you're manifesting, right? So you might be manifesting sort of something involving a work sort of situation. So if you feel like it's not like you're getting together with friends, it might be a workplace thing, like with coworkers, or you're growing, evolving, and transforming on that side, or you're sharing with people whom maybe are your mentors or your teachers. I can see that too happening here, because you have, or like bosses or coworkers, because you have like these 2 pentacle cards. But they also can be like, I feel like the King of Pentacles gives me like major dad energy, so you might be hanging out with family or with your dad, with sisters or brothers on a family sense. But it also could just be friends that feel about these types of archetypes. So I'm going to talk about each of the different people which you might be sharing your time with this week. So I'll start here with the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands, and the fact that you got 2 pages between like a dad, I feel like there might just be like you're hanging out with family and siblings. But beyond that, we have the Page of Wands, right? So the Page of Wands is typically a masculine energy in this case. Pages usually can have feminine energy, but in this case you have more of a masculine figure. So that might be significant to you, but in general, it can be completely gender neutral in this case. And the Page of Wands is all about, they're about adventure, setting their goals, they're moving forward. They're different than the the Knight of Wands that like moves forward really fast movement, messages, sort of kind of thing. The Page of Wands is more like, they're a little bit more intellectual about it, but they're interested in travel, interested in movement, they're interested in sending, their inspiration to the world. I see them as like kind of a creative, inspired person, and they love to move forward with like every little thing. They've just got a lot of ideas tumbling around inside their brain that they want to put forth into action. Next here you have the Page of Pentacles that might be joining your party, and the Page of Pentacles here is about like a younger spirit, a younger maybe feminine spirit in this case, but again can be completely gender neutral. But they're the type of person that is they go on an adventure just like the Page, but they're a little bit more studious about it. Like they're going on a studying kind of adventure. They might be a university student. They're interested in learning and growing and manifesting. In that way, they're really good with business. So they might be even going to school for business or in some sort of businessy sense. But they're really good with like working with their hands, using tools. They're really good at that kind of manifestation of things. So this could be you. One of these might be you, or it just might be that you're hanging out with these types of people. And lastly, we have the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles, like I said, gives me sort of a dad sort of energy. Like they're like the ultimate dad, like they have the means to provide, but they also really like to hang out with their children. They're nurturing, they're really good with their community, that kind of stuff. But if you don't feel like this is like a masculine energy, it can also be more so like just in general, they're like masculine in the sense that they're really like they've got structure to what they're bringing to the table. They're really good at bringing forth abundance and bringing forth money, and they're really good at being a provider. They might be really good in business, like I was saying, but they also seem to be really good with like animals too, so like vets in that kind of way. I'm just seeing that like you're going to be hanging out with these types of people, and like the King of Pentacles, if this is a co-worker sort of situation, I see this being like the boss, right? Like they've got all the money, they've got all the stuff, they're the top of the throne, right? So you could be having like a meeting this week where you're sharing different ideas, where you're manifesting and growing and evolving a transformation in terms of a business idea, or where your company or your job or workplace is moving forward. You might even be sharing or working with other types of companies, like some sort of collaboration happening. But if it's just like family, if you're feeling more family vibes, then it's just hanging out with your siblings, hanging out with those kinds of people, maybe seeing your dad or your brother or sister in this time. So with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and move on to your charms, group 3, because there's not a lot more to say on it. I really just see that you guys are hanging out with your kind of people. Just be careful, as always. Endurance, hold on, you can do this. Take the time that you need when you need it, so you can grow, evolve, and transform and manifest what you want to this week. It doesn't have to be like, share your time with them, but do it in a a busy bee should make sure that they take time for every flower, and you are also a flower, so don't be too selfless with your time and everybody that you want to be hanging out with or having meetings with or chilling with, whatever that is, that socialization. Just be sure to give that time for yourself too. So let's go ahead and move to your charms. Let's see what you have going on, group 3, for your week ahead. The week ahead for group 3, the week ahead for group 3, we're looking for the week ahead for group 3, the week ahead for group 3. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just sort some of these out here and see what you have going on. We do have a chakra, so I'm probably going to pull you guys a chakra card in a moment. I had to do that also for pile 1. It's been really fun using the different chakra cards as well. We'll see what is upside down here and what's been working together. A few charms that fell differently. So okay, so I'll go ahead and, actually we have one that fell all the way over here. I'm just going to pick that one up and I'm going to drop it and see where it falls. So it still fell upside down, so I'm going to put it off of the board. So let's move you on in real quick. Alright, so now that we are moved in, you're not missing anything down here. There are no charms. But here in the focus ring, we do have the root chakra. So I will pull you a root chakra card real quick. Alright, so I got all the different root chakra cards here from the Chakra Love deck. And we will see what you guys have going on for your root chakra. So group 3's root chakra. What do we need to know about group 3's root chakra for their week ahead? What do we need to know for their focus ring root chakra here, balancing and centering their root chakra. Okay, so here we are. We've got snowflake obsidian on the back here. So if you work with crystals, this would be a great crystal to be using for safety. So we have the snowflake obsidian, safety. In the hurricane of life, a strong foundation will keep you safe, which I think is important to mention because I feel like these people that you're going to be hanging out are your strong foundation. They're the people whom you might need to be creating a foundation with, a supportive group, maybe like just a place in which you guys can all share ideas, grow and transform, manifest together. It's always important to have that, especially since we have safety, right? A place to keep you safe, that foundation. You're maybe deciding this week who is going to be in your social circle, right? Who is worthy of your social circle, and who are you going to sort of erase out or move out or try to transmute or change that based off of the memories that you know about them. You can make a decision on whether they're too risky to keep in your or if you're gambling with keeping them in your friend group, because sometimes the people that we surround ourselves are the people who influence us, and if you're surrounding yourself with people who don't let you grow, evolve, and transform, then they are not the person for you. So only share your time with the person that is going to really be there for you in the long haul, right? So that's like kind of an entirely separate message than what I was getting in from just the cards. So it might be one of these three people or these types of archetypal energy of people that maybe one of these just felt like they were the sore thumb, or you knew exactly who they were and you were like, maybe I don't want to share my time this week with them. I'm not saying everyone will feel that way, but some of you might need to be erasing or cleansing the energy, maybe cleansing the air. Maybe there was a memory that was not so good. So it doesn't necessarily mean you have to cut them out of your life, but maybe you guys need to reflect and talk about the memories in which weren't so good towards the foundation of your friendship and your time together. Outside of that, you're also with these social circles that are happening over here. You are making memories this week, because the camera does also represent making memories. And, with that Page of Wands, I feel like it could be something like a travel or a vacation, maybe going camping, getting out. I just see this Page of Wands showcasing, like, maybe that's the type of person that had to do with the memories, but it also could be that you guys are going on a traveling sort of adventure in that way. But I do see it being a pretty chill week because we have the bear paw here, but because it says bear paw here, and on one side the bear paw is centered, which makes me think like everything that you're kind of defensive and like the bear energy when it's awake, but this is the hibernating bear. So I do see you guys maybe like hibernating on some of the things that you've been maybe working on, because we have imagine and dreams and believing in yourself. And I think that maybe you're gonna like chill out this week, have it more of a social week, a week to make memories. Maybe you're taking time off, something like that. The universe is sort of opening doors for you to take that time off and chill, or just cleanse that energy that no longer serves you, because the hibernation, you can't take anything that you don't necessarily need with you, because it's all about necessity. What do you need for the winter to come? So with that said, also you have sort of a different kind of energy happening over here with the cycles and like moons and stuff happening. I do see like a more spiritual element happening for you guys this week, because we have like this, I always think of as it can just represent a person. So it could be one of these different archetypes if you feel like that's resonating for you. But I also think of this as like if you work with deities, or if you work with different types of like spiritual things, or the universe, or a god, or the god, or whatever it is for you guys in your spiritual religious sense. I do see sort of like a unlocking yourself, because you have both the lock and the key. So I do see you like unlocking something and maybe even confiding in your spiritual side. But outside of that, we also have the heart over here, the creature comforts, the hibernation, the heart of your dreams, and this is sort of almost a dreamy heart. And then we have the heart on the key. So I do think it could be a romantic element, maybe at these social gatherings. There might be a romantic element of maybe getting together with someone whom you are romantically involved with, but there might also just be that you're unlocking or moving towards a new step in that relationship. But on top of that, if it's not feeling like a relationship message for you, then it might be more of a spiritual one, of unlocking yourself to a new sort of step spiritually to move forward, to grow and transform, that you're manifesting something, you're asking the universe for something to having to do with your dreams, something that you've been sort of hibernating and waiting on, something that you've had to, like, because this is the pendulum charm, right? So it represents a swing, it represents swinging motion. You're on a pendulum, you're having to wait for it to stop with this growth. So I feel like you're just, part of it is a spiritual message where you're needing to grow, evolve, and transform, and you want to manifest something, and you're asking the universe, hey, this is a dream in which I want to manifest this week, and you're setting those foundations down to do so. But another part of it is just like, I do think you might just be hanging out with someone whom you really fancy this week, and you're unlocking maybe a new step in that relationship, maybe unlocking your feelings, making new memories with them, maybe being a little risky with the with how much you let go, or how much you sort of, because this Three of Cups, it is cup energy, so it's also like grow, evolve, and transform, or not grow, evolve, and transform, but share. So I feel like you might be sharing your time with someone romantically, sharing your feelings maybe this week. So there's definitely sort of different conflicting not really conflicting, just sort of different types of groups of messages. So some of it's siblings, some of it is you're growing, evolving, and transforming to move yourself forward with a foundation in which is based on memories and your dreams and desires, asking the universe for that. But then some of you guys might just also just be hanging out with friends and building that strong friend group and getting rid of the people who no longer serve you. So there's sort of different energies here. Whichever one is resonating most with you is probably the message for you, because as this is a group reading, I am reading on a lot of different energies here, from each of you through the camera and through, time and space to this exact moment that I'm doing this reading. So take what resonates and leave what doesn't, and that's completely okay and valid. But I'm going to go ahead and do a recap here for you guys real quick for group 3. So you do need to work on your root chakra, or your root chakra is important this week. Using Snowflake Obsidian can be really helpful for you this week in terms of making new memories and figuring out what your foundation is. Snowflake Obsidian is a really safe, it's a really cuddly, lovely stone. I absolutely love it. You also have a lot of social gathering, possibly with a Page of Pentacles, a Page of Wands, or a King of Pentacles sort of energy. So there's 3 different sort of people kind of joining this party here that you have going on. And I see you sharing yourself, being more comfortable with yourself, maybe even sharing about memories, having things that have to do with memories or travel this week. And I also see you, maybe some of you are erasing what no longer serves you, and you might even feel better because you did clear the air on something or you shared and cleared the air with the people, that do support you, and you are going to be there for the long haul with you. The endurance is there. There's also maybe a new foundation in a relationship that might be building, or in a more not imaginative, inspirational dream sense. So there's sort of 2 different energies there. So take what resonates. As I was mentioning, you're growing and manifesting this week, asking the universe for what you need, and it's going to bring it to you, or at least work for you to build that foundation. So with all of that said, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. If you enjoyed this reading, please give this video a like. It really does help this channel, and it lets me know that you enjoyed the reading. If you have more to say about the reading, I'd love to know down below if this is resonating with you, who these kind of people are, whatever's happening in your life that you'd like to talk about. Feel free to have a conversation with me or others down below. I'd love to have you guys join in on this little community that we're growing here. And on top of that, if you enjoy these types of readings, I do week ahead readings every single Monday, as well as other types of magical content, creativity, and those sorts of things. So if you're interested in any of that, feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified of each of my uploads and readings to come, so you don't miss out. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!